All right, first I want to ask you like, um, what what were you going for here? Like, what is it you were trying to achieve? I like to ask that before I get started on it. Okay, so like a painterly at first. Okay, so you went from painterly to more realism. It almost has like a and it's a finished piece, right? Would you consider it finished? Yes. Okay. All right. So, first of all, I would start by saying it almost has kind of like an abstract feel to it too, which is cool. Um, or like a surreal, kind of a surreal feeling too. If you wanna throw that in there, which is cool. I really dig it. Um, Now, starting with composition, because that's what I'm looking at is composition, how the image reads. Um, you know, what elements are within it. Compositional wise. Um, is there balance? Is there harmony? Contrast? Does everything read well? That's cool. So the first thing I want to start with is balance, okay? And balance basically is does everything have um, like contrast? Like it's not all the same, all right? So like you don't have like whenever I was going over um, Poppy's piece. Okay. Whenever I say balance, by the way, is this being recorded? Are you recording this, Fleur, or are we just going with it? Okay, you're recording. All right. We might want to have a separate section for critiques and classes because I can see these building up. Cool, cool. You're on top of it, man. You're the woman. All right. So, um, yeah, I was gonna get to that, Sarah. Um, let me copy this down real quick. All right, and I'm gonna show you balance. Okay. So let's take this piece and let's duplicate it. All right. Now, if these two pieces were side by side, the same length, the same everything, then you wouldn't have that balance. Okay? And well, in this area, you wouldn't have that particular balance. But since you have a difference in size going on, yeah, because you don't want everything the same size because the piece will get boring because it would be too symmetrical. You have a lot of variation going on here, which is good. Um, and then you have like this different size of down here compared to this one. And then you have this one back here, okay? And then this one over here, and then this one back here, which is all good. Same thing with the stems. You got different variations, different sizes. That brings a lot of balance. Willow. Um, Plus, you have some good negative space too. I would say that you got some negative space up here, some negative space, so that separates from the background and it makes the image read more. Okay. I would say that the flowers could probably be brought back over a little bit. They might be stretching across maybe too much. Another thing you want to avoid is another thing you want to avoid is trying to have your pieces touch the sides like that, because what that creates is like a tangent, and that right there draws the viewer's eye. Okay, you want to try to keep everything within the piece as much as you can. You don't want to have anything going up here. You want to try to avoid anything with direct um, like straight lines touching the side, because what it does whenever I say tangent, that means it creates like kind of like a. Okay, am I back? It doesn't. Okay, so continuing where I was at. Um, it doesn't kill the piece. I mean, it's a great piece. But the thing is, okay, see, like if you're looking at this, like say for instance in Sketch Club, um, if I mean if you know what you're looking for, you know, then you can pick these things out. I mean, of course, if you don't know what you're looking for, then you really don't know. But the viewer can pretty much distinguish, what looks right and what doesn't. Even with the lack of knowledge. I mean, you can tell what's drawing your eye and what's not drawing your eye. Okay. Um, the point I'm trying to make right here with this part right here is um, you have the edge right here, and then you have this part that's kind of like making a T or a cross. Okay. And that right there is a very strong element when it comes to um, composition, because that right there, you want it to work in your favor. You don't want it to work against you. You want it to work in your favor. You want it to bring, like, say if you say you took this and you brought it back to the image. That right there was that right there is pointing back into the image. Okay, yeah, it's a funky branch, so you would have to work with it and everything, but um, you would have to just come up with an idea or just break it off altogether, which would be better than having it touch over here. If you broke it off, if you broke it off like that, not make and probably not make it so pointy or whatever. See, yeah. So that would be a lot better than it coming over here and touching the side. Yeah, or just make it a broken branch. You know. Actually, if you brought it all the way back, would even be better, because then you're not even thinking about going towards the side. the point is you want to just keep everything within your image as much as possible. Okay? You don't want to give the viewer any distractions. Because, I mean, this is your focal right here, right? This right here is your focal, right? In this area. Yeah, so like I was saying with Poppy's image, everything else is secondary. If that's your focal, you don't want to draw too much attention to everything else because then it just makes it um, kind of flat. It makes it, it everything competes with everything. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the principles. Okay, that's fine. Um, all right, so let's go to contrast. Okay. Yeah, you got some contrast endpoints in here. You got some good contrast. You got contrast here. I see contrast all over the place, which is another thing too, because if you have too much contrast, it can also work against your image. Because if you don't have that direct focal, and everything is competing, once again, it's going to work against you. So you don't want things competing with each other. Um, a good way to do that is with contrast. You don't want this down here looking the same as this up here, um, or over here. You want to fade some back. You want to bring some forward. You know, that right there creates depth, and it also separates the elements. And it gives you balance. So say like if you made this one, let's say you made this bottom one, more faded, or even a different color would work. Give it a different tone or something. That would right there would separate it from the main focal, which is, you know, your flower up at the top. Um, you know, you added a little bit more pink, kind of faded it out. It's not competing. It's not competing with this. Okay. Yet you could still see it. But you want all your main contrast to be in this area. And then everything else, you want it leading to this area. Okay? Same thing with this one back here. And it don't take much. It don't take much at all to just, add some fade and, do a little painterly strokes, Yeah, the backward ones are fine. Because this is, I mean, you could fade them back some more, but they're not competing as much as the ones in the front. Um, like like this one back here, for instance. I don't know why I keep on doing that over the painting. Okay. All right, let me back up some. All right. Okay. Also like this one back here. Okay. Same thing. Just add a little bit of, different color, different tone. Break it away from looking too much like the focal. All right, because that's not your focal, so that's not your main interest. That's not what you want people to see. Because if people are all over the place on your piece, then they're gonna get overwhelmed. They're gonna, oh, everything looks the same. I need a place to rest my eyes. So, so just keep that in mind. What about the leaf? Yeah, yeah. See, yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, just throw some shadow from the leaf onto there. You know, that right there breaks it up, you know, instantly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this one back here isn't as big of a deal as this one up here. As this one. Dang, I keep on picking the wrong color. This one. Okay? So, all right, with that said, let's move on to movement. Yeah, you got some good movement. You got you know, everything going in different ways, you know. You got branches breaking off, going different directions. So you got some good movement. That's good too because you don't want everything, you know, basically being the same, you know. You got this one looking different from this one up here, you know, this one, you know, all that, the leaves, everything. So yeah. So yeah, so you're good on the movement. So and plus the viewer's eye is moving through, you know, the composition. You know, it's moving through the piece. You know, you got their eye instantly coming from here and moving this way. All right. So it's bringing you like, you know, the only thing is that because you want it to come this way, you want the viewer's eye to come this way, you don't want to, you know, you don't want to like detour them this way or this way. All you want these to do is to complement this. This is your main focus. All right. Exactly. Now these guys could be a place to rest, you know, the viewer's eye, but you don't want it to distract from this. Okay. All right. So we got the movement, and the movement can be achieved by lines, contrasting shapes, colors, you know, whatever. All right. Now we got emphasis. Okay. And we already talked about that. We talked about emphasis. Your focal. This is your emphasis. This is where you want. This is nice too because you got this little guy pointing at your focal, so that's good. If you had this one down here doing the same thing, that would be good. You know, even a branch. You know, anything you can use to your disposal to draw the eye to where you want it to go. All right. Yeah, so we got that. And then pattern. Pattern is repetition of shape, form, texture across the work. Okay, you got that too. You got pattern. You got pattern here. You got pattern here. Here. These guys. Okay, you got pattern in the branches. Okay, the leaves. These little guys right here. You know, those are all patterns. Um, but they're not like directly the same. Okay, these two are the ones that are only the most similar, but we already covered that. All right, so now proportion. Okay, so proportions are the elements that in your art that you know are combined harmoniously. Basically, um, with proportions, that's kind of like the size differentiacy or whatever. I don't even know if that's a word. Um, the size is differing from one another. So you got proportion here compared to this. You know, you got proportion here compared to this. You know, so you got different proportions. Proportion is basically, you know, not everything looking the same size. It's basically what the proportion is. All right. Same thing with the branches. Everything is different sizes, which is good because it adds depth. It adds interest. All If you had all these branches looking just the same, it would be boring. If you had all the flowers looking the same, it would be boring. Same thing with the texture back here. You got different pieces. That's good because you got to break it up. All right. It adds that contrast. It adds that interest. Um, just draws the eye a lot more. But it's not competing with this. It's not competing with your main focals. All right. Okay, and the last thing is unity. Basically unity. Um, well, just understand this isn't to judge you or say your work's crap or anything. This is strictly a critique. A constructive critique. This is giving positive and my own feedback. So so just keep that in mind. Um, so I'm not here to bash your work or anything. So you did do a lot of things right. That's cool. Um, yeah, just take it as a positive. And all I'm doing, my aim is just to help. That's it. Give you my feedback, give you my opinion, and then you take it from there. You did a lot of things right. There's a lot of things good in here. And once again, like I told Poppy, um, this isn't like a set law. These principles doesn't apply to everything. Okay, you have so many artists out there that doesn't even go by these principles. Dolly being one of them. You know, his composition is so off, but that's the way he does his art. Okay, and that's what captures the interest of a lot of people. Okay, but it's to each his own. It's all a matter of prerogative, what you enjoy, what you like to see. So, all right. So now, another thing I wanted to cover is that's important in a composition, as far as like drawing the viewer in, um, is well, thank you, I appreciate it. Is the rules of third or the golden ratio? Okay, I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna show you something. I should have did this with Poppy too, but it's okay. You'll get to see it here. There's a great where's it at? It's a great example in here. Yeah, golden ratio and rules of third right here by Digital Mike. All right, I use this a lot. Okay, and this right here is great for um, trying to figure out your composition. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so see that? Let's go ahead and let's fade the picture a little far. Let's fade the picture back a little bit. All right, so I want to show you this because this is good. Okay. Um, Instantly, you have the viewer's eye, like you have this in the right position right here. The thing about rules of third and the golden ratio is these are your points of interest. Okay. These little guys are your points of interest. All right. This, these are where you want the viewer to go. Okay. Those are where you want your main focus. Okay, can y'all hear me now? Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, so like what I was saying. Um, okay. And say you did it and you didn't even realize it. That's the cool thing. You did it and you didn't even realize that you did it. Okay. You have your flower, your main focal right there. That's good. You also have this one falling down here too. So, um, the thing is that you don't have anything in the center. Um, it's just basically a rule of thumb. Uh, yeah, yeah, Poppy, yours. Hold on, I'll pull it up right now. Yours is the same. Yeah, yours is good. Yours is good. See, that's a good thing to check too. Look at that. It's right there. Look, bam, right there, and right here. See? Okay, so yeah, you're good too. So that's one thing I didn't. That's funny. Um, that's one thing I didn't touch on poppies, but yeah, I had that in my mind that yeah, it was okay. It was fitting the you know the golden ratio and the rules of third. Yeah, this is always something to take into consideration with anything that you do, whether it's abstract, whether it's surreal, whether it's unless it just doesn't uh I mean unless you just don't care about composition. But like I said, it's just a principle. It's not a rule. I mean, it's not like oh you have to follow this. No, it's just this is what's pleasing to the viewer, pleasing to the eye, typically. Okay, the flow of this right here. Okay, um, even these right here is flowing to the main part. You might not see it clearly. Um, you might not see it clearly, but once you know, you kind of think about it more as you're working, then you'll start to see it. Okay, you'll start to see the flow. Okay, just this element right here leading to this element, and then this element. That's a general flow. Okay, even the branches, they're flowing. They're flowing to the main part. Well, I just know this by, just um, I wish they would teach this more in like, art schools and stuff. Because honestly, I didn't learn crap in art school. I give you that right now. I didn't learn a dang thing, man. I mean, I got the basics, but it's like really like I didn't get nothing. I had to learn myself. I had to go and research this stuff myself and learn from other artists. So, I really wish they would have taught stuff like this in art school and stuff. So anyway, so yeah, so I mean you got a good flow going. And this is a good this is a good thing to this is a good thing to keep in mind, you know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely, definitely. So, so yeah, just remember that, these are your point of interest right here, in these areas. So if you can, try to get your main focal, you know, or your main emphasis around these general areas. All right. Even if you have things in the center, you know, even if you have something in the center, make it. Oh, it's in the Sketch Club. It's in the Sketch Club grids. All you got to do is download it, and it doesn't even count as a downloadable image. So yeah, just go to Sketch Club grids, and you'll find it in there. It's under load image, and then go to scroll down to grids, and then there's actually a few of them in there. There's also 1 point, 2 point perspectives, all kinds of stuff that you can check out. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. That's where I found this one, man. I got this from Digital Mike. So yeah, so I mean, you did that and you didn't even realize. So that's cool. That's one thing I picked off right away. Is that you had the golden ratio. That's what really made it pleasing to me. Now I'm going to show you the difference. If this was in the center, if your main focus was in the center, um, you know what? Because, okay, this is why. I mean, this is just how I see it. This is how I figure it. All right. The thing that makes this pleasing with the golden ratio is whenever the viewer first looks at an image, whenever they first look at a piece of art, all right, they want to be drawn into it, right? Whenever you see a piece of art, you want something to draw you in. You want something to pull you, you know, right? Okay. So that's where for me, that's how the golden ratio plays in comes into play. And the rules of third is it draws you in, okay? You're being drawn into the image. So you're not stopped here. You're not stopped, well, um, you're not stopped, in this area right here, okay? You're being, lured in, which is good because that puts more focal, that puts more emphasis from the viewer. That's what you want. You want somebody to just, look at your piece. Wow, like you don't want them to just look at it and like pass it by, you know? All right, now I'm gonna show you if this was in the center. I'm gonna show you the difference. Yeah, exactly, Jules. Yeah, exactly. Same thing applies to photography. A lot of my stuff, that I've learned, I've actually gathered from photography, like, different shots, depth of field, rules of third, golden ratio, all this stuff. You know, I mean, you don't have to be a photographer to know this, but it's good to, gather that, basic knowledge, All right, now I'm gonna show you the difference here as if this image was actually in the middle, okay? So if it was in the middle right there, you know, then your focal is right here. So you have all this space around that's not being used, okay, this would have to be your focal, or this would have to be your focal. But if it's right here, then it's kind of unbalanced and it just stops, and then it's kind of, it's kind of boring. Because it's symmetrical. There's nothing leading the eye and it's symmetrical. You have even space on both sides of it. See what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, so with how you have it, you already have that mindset. You already, subconsciously had that mindset before, you even found out about this. So you're on the right track. Let me get rid of this. All right, so that's like exactly the same thing with poppies. Let's do that. Let's pull poppies up. All right. Let's bring his into the center. See what I'm saying? Not as, it's just not as interesting. Um, let's let's go ahead and once again, this isn't dogging your work or nothing like that. You already know. You already know, you know, just from what I've talked about, let's okay, let's just pretend this is the other part of the picture. Yeah, it's not as eye-catchy, exactly. Okay. It's too even. It's too even. There's no balance. Even with the house, with even the house is probably the best thing going on right now. And even that's not, you know, it's not helping the scene because you have all this open space and it's just way too even. Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to put something off to the left or the right, the bottom left, the bottom right, top left, top right, you know. Always, always, in anything you work in, anything. Um, unless of course, you know, you don't want to do it, you know. But the thing is that um, the viewer the viewer won't be as drawn in as, with something that's directly in the center as they would with something that's, you know, leading the eye, you know, and off to the side. Okay. So that's just a general rule of thumb. It's not law or anything like that, you know. It's all a matter of preference, of course. But that's the principles of composition. Okay, let's get back to Saros. All right. So now that you so now that you understand that part, I wanna also bring you to another point. And the other point is this part right here. And you don't even realize, but you did this well too. Um, see how it's like a cross? See how it's like a cross right here? See how it goes this way? And it goes this way? Okay? That's another element of composition. And you'll find this in a lot of old master studies, along with the golden ratio and the rules of third. You'll find this in a lot of master studies. Um, See how you have this part right here stopping, and then you have, the branch, and then you have the leaf, and you have all these elements leading up to the focal. Okay? Those right there create implied lines, except for this piece right here. That's the only piece that kind of draws you away from the piece, away from the actual image, but you know, that's okay. But see, you have all these implied lines, and if you look up different old master studies, you'll see this in those pictures too. You'll see how this plays out in those also. All right, because you have these, you know, these different elements. You know, then you have this one big one leading up like that. All right, and they don't have to be exactly following the line. It's just all it is implied. Okay, that's all it is. All right, this right here. It's like a cross. See it? Or like an X. This right here is very powerful. This right here is very, very powerful. If you can get this on your image, then yeah, you're doing good. All right, so now let's get to, um, and I'll be covering more of that later on when I'm doing the class on composition and touching on golden ratio and rules of third and everything. You guys are getting a major chunk of it right now. So so if you're in here, that's good, because you're getting kind of a preview, and you're getting a lot of information too. So and plus, I'm not just going by my own judgment. I'm not going I'm not going by my own, what I think I know. I'm actually studying this. I'm actually looking at something right now, you know, and studying it, looking at, just to make sure I'm on the right track, with the principles and everything. So I'm not misleading or anything like that. So yeah, all right. Well, now I'm gonna touch on what I believe, you know, could improve. Um, and then this is the actual critique session. Okay, so that was basically telling you, what I saw right. You got all the principles of composition down, the golden ratio, the rules of third. Same thing with Poppy. Um, you guys did great. So I'm just gonna show you what, could possibly be improved. So, and really, honestly, it's just depth. That's really all it is. It's just depth. It's breaking up the elements, like this right here, like the branch, you know, fading that out, fading it out a bit. So it's not drawing so much attention to it, okay? Or kind of curving it a little bit, not making it so sharp, but just curve it, you know? All right? Or heck, or heck, just even cut it off, You don't even need it. Just cut it off. Just cut it off. Um, it helps the image. If something's not helping the image, get rid of it, you know? Now look, see? Now, now you don't have the viewer's eye going this way. All right? They stopped right here, which is bringing them back to the focal. All right? Okay. So yeah, so I mean, you don't even need that. You know, it's just adding extra. That's all it is. Less is more. Always remember that. Less is more. You don't want to overcomplicate things. If you don't need it, get rid of it. If it's not helping the overall image, then get rid of it. All right. So now let's go ahead and fade this back some. We'll start with this one. Let me find a different, because I didn't mean to do it with that brush. All right. So let's just so all we're doing is adding a little atmosphere to the flower. We're giving it some breathing room, okay? Not making it so, uh, flat, I guess you could say. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, so we're just gonna fade this back some, give it a little atmosphere. Okay, and look how much more your focal pops out. Just that little bit of fading. Look how much more this part pops out more now. Hey, welcome back, Fleur. See that? Okay. Same thing with the one up in the front. You know, this time I'm gonna do like a little blur. I'm just gonna blur it out a little bit because this one right here is coming at you more, or at least that's what you want. Oops, not that much. Okay, so let's blur both of these out. Okay, so that way it's not pulling from, you know. Also, what that does is it breaks away the it breaks away that looking too similar to, your main focus. All right. Let's put a little bit of blur over here, a little bit back here, some up here. All it does is it helps your focus come out more and more and more. All right. Okay, now let's add some shadow to the branch down here because your values right here are too even. You need some shadow right here to break it up. You know, add some shadow back here. You want to think about where your light's coming from. Some shadow down here. Think about your objects, how they're reacting to other objects. Um, okay, just helping it, pop more and more. It's helping your main star, your main flower up here, just pop out more and more. Okay, you can even to help it add some contrast in this general area. Okay, make the branch a little bit brighter. Add some brightness over here. Okay, maybe add some textures, some little some looseness in here, some loose textures. Okay. See that also draws your eye because it breaks it up from over in this area. It brings you more to the focal. Alright, probably put some up here too. Just be careful when doing this. You don't want to add too much because then you start creating too much contrast. And you don't want to draw away from the focal, you want to draw to the focal. Alright. Okay, so something like that. Okay. And I mean, just that little bit, just going over it with different, you could always bump this out so much more too. Uh-oh, actually went over the actual image. Um, but you can bump it out so much more, um, just by adding more shadows. You know, we don't need to see all this over here. You know, all we need to see is what's in the focal area. I mean, yeah, it's fine to see it, but you don't want to looking too similar, you know, to where we want the eye to see. Could even, fade some of this back some more. Just add some more depth. Some more atmosphere. Okay, so yeah, so I mean that's just me going over it. Just my thoughts on it, and adding what I think would work, and just bring it out more. You know, I'm telling you, like the more shadows you add, and the more atmosphere you add, it makes stuff just come alive. It just makes stuff come alive, man. You know? Yeah, yeah. Glad I made a copy because I was actually painting on the actual thing. I didn't even realize. Um, yeah, let me go ahead and thank you. Um, merge this down. Okay. All right, so we'll export it. Okay. Yeah, so I'll export this one first. Then I'll export this one. Oops. All right. Load my version as a reference photo. Okay. Obviously, I'm not too savvy in that. uh, okay. I got you. I got you. All right. Okay. Okay, so here's the original, and here's with what I added to it. Still a great piece. I mean, not taking that away from it, still a great piece, you know. All I did really was add some depth to it. That's really all I did. Well, thank you guys. So yeah, just just go back and mess around with that. Um, just yeah, see the limb. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, see yeah, exactly. That's one that's really like kind of like with poppies um with the heel that was on the bottom left that kind of like distracted me from the house. The same thing with Sarah's branch. It was just drawing my attention away from the focal point, you know. And now that it's not there, you're not going off, you're not going away from the image. And because I faded the flower back in the background and blurred the one in the foreground, then it brings out the middle even more. So, and everything still applies, all the composition, the rules of third, the golden ratio, all that stuff. So all that stuff's still there. Um, the only thing that's different is I just added atmosphere and depth. That's it. Yeah, sure thing. If anybody else is, interested in critique or whatever, upload it to the thread in the group, and I'll be more than happy to take a look at it and go over composition and give you my thoughts. Um, we're all in this together. We're all looking to improve. So, whatever I can do to help. You want me to send this to you, Sarah? You want me to send you the downloadable? Okay. Yeah, while I'm at it, I want to also thank everybody. I want to thank everybody that's been hanging with me, helping this course. Oops. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, I'm sending this to you right now, Sarah. Okay. Okay, but yeah, I just want to take this time to thank everybody. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Yeah, I just want to take this time to thank everybody. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for helping me push this thing forward. Um, you know, uh, I just want to pay it forward to you guys. Uh, what I know, what I've learned from other artists, techniques, you name it. Just help everybody improve the best they can. You know, try to try to work towards originality and trying to be creative and relying less on references and stuff like that. And just having a knowledge to be confident in your work. By using studies, you know, uh, from old masters, stuff like that. It is a lot to learn, but you just you take it a step at a time. That's why I'm doing the course because I'm not rushing anything. There's videos if you want to watch the videos, if you can't make the class. Um, that's why I'm offering as much as I possibly can to you guys, and it's free. I'm doing this on my own free time, so I appreciate everybody's help. I appreciate Fleur. She's been a tremendous help. My other co-leader Mingu, another great help. He's been giving me advice, suggestions. When we have Mishpat on board now, and she's going to be a great help. And then Jules has also been a great help too. Getting this thing out there, getting it advertised. Fleur's been putting it out on Facebook. Please, spread the word to your friends. If you know people that, they're looking to get better, they don't know how, they don't know, there's so many tutorials and out there and everything. You don't have to just go by what's here. There's so much stuff on YouTube that you can look at. I mean, that's where I gathered a lot of my knowledge, just watching artists, watching how they do things, watching, people explain the basics, the fundamentals, over and over and over again, repetitiveness. um, Thank you, Black Pond. I can't thank you enough to Black Pond for making this possible. Since I've been here in Sketch Club, I've improved immensely in my artwork. Through competitions, everything. So thank you, Black Pine, for even, making this available. So yeah, I just wanted to just give a shout out to everybody and you know, just give a huge thank you. And like I said, I'm more than happy to do this, guys. Just let me know what you think. Um, if you have any suggestions, we have threads in the group. Uh, feel more than just if you want to post something up or whatever, feel free. We got study Wednesdays. We just posted a new old master study. If you want to take a shot at it, I definitely encourage it. So you can check that out in the group.